In today's Destiny 2 video, we're going to be reviewing the MULTIMACH CCX legendary submachine gun. This used to be one of the best submachine guns in Destiny 2, so I'm going to be giving you my opinion on whether or not it's still the best, and we're going to go over all the perks, compare it to some other SMGs, so you guys know whether or not this is worth grinding out in Iron Banner. So Guardians, let's get into it.
Yo, it's time to subscribe to Paid to Be Famous. What are you doing?
Subscribe to Paid to Be Famous.
Subscribe to Paid to Be Famous. Like the video, come on.
Hell
you know
yeah.
the drill.
Button.
And slap that like button.
Woo! Hey,
The MULTIMACH CCX is a legendary kinetic SMG. It's a lightweight frame, superb handling, move faster while this weapon is equipped, and it fires at 900 rounds per minute. Now, if we compare this to some other lightweight SMGs like the Escape Velocity, Prolonged Engagement, and the Submission from the Valor Disciple raid, you can see that the stats are pretty average. It does have one of the best range stats at base, sitting at 29, and it does also have one of the best zooms, sitting at 15. Not too many other SMGs have a 15 zoom, so it does have that going for it. Now, not too long ago, Bungie changed things so that stability really does matter on SMGs. So when you guys are looking for a barrel, I would stay away from full bore just because it does give you the most range, but it does hurt your stability a lot. I would suggest something like Hammerforged rifling or small bore. Hammerforged bumps up your range and doesn't hurt your stability at all, and small bore also bumps up your range and it gives you a boost to your stability. So small bore and Hammerforged rifling are probably your best bets for your barrels. And when it comes to your magazine perks, I would go with either accurized rounds or steady rounds. Accurized rounds is going to boost your range by 10. Steady rounds is going to boost your stability by 15, but it is going to hurt your range by -5. It really depends on whether or not you're having a hard time controlling the recoil. If so, go with steady rounds. But if you don't have a problem with that, definitely go with accurized rounds to get a little bit more range out of your SMG. In the first column of trait perks, you've got dynamic sway, under over, rangefinder, moving target, attrition orbs, and iron gaze. 100% stay away from iron gaze. Basically drops your range down to 0, and that is no bueno. You've got attrition orbs on this. Dealing sustained damage creates an orb of power. It's a useful perk for PvE, but I wouldn't prioritize this in PvP. Moving on, we have moving target, increased movement speed, and target acquisition when moving while aiming down sights. This perk is going to be active a lot because you're basically aiming down sights a lot with an SMG, so this will just make it easier for you to land shots, and it'll help you move faster when you strafe, making it harder for your enemy to land shots on you. Rangefinder isn't what it used to be. It states that aiming this weapon increases its effective range and its zoom. This SMG already has one of the best zooms in the game, so I don't really think it's necessary, so you can skip on this one. Under over states that deal bonus damage to targets with overshields, and it deals a small amount of bonus damage to combatant shields. This is a 125% increase against PvE combatants overshields, a 50% increase against barrier champion shields, and in the Crucible, it's a 20% increase against player overshields, and for body shots against players with woven mail. So if you guys play a lot of PvP, you know there's a bunch of titans running around with overshields at all times. So under over is actually a solid pick if you're looking for a Crucible SMG. You can definitely take advantage of this perk. And then last but not least, we have dynamic sway reduction, improves accuracy and stability while continuously holding down the trigger. This is my #1 pick for this column. It's an SMG, so you're always going to be holding down the trigger. And like I said earlier, stability is very important on an SMG, and this just grants you free stability just by holding down the trigger. So in my opinion, in this column, dynamic sway would be the perk to go for, with moving target close behind it. Either one of these two perks is going to help you out in the Crucible. In the last column of perks, you've got frenzy, kinetic trimmers, target lock, iron reach, kill clip, and tap the trigger. Tap the trigger states that grants a short period of increased stability and accuracy on the initial trigger pull. This is a very good perk in the Crucible, especially if you pair it with dynamic sway reduction. Tap the trigger is going to help you out in the beginning of the gunfight, and dynamic sway is going to help you out at the end of the gunfight. Very good perk combination. Then you've got kill clip. Reloading after a kill grants increased damage, specifically a 25% increase to damage. The base time to kill on the MULTIMACH is a 0.73, with 11 headshots and 1 body shot. But when you get kill clip active, it actually drops the TTK to a 0.6 second time to kill, and it only requires 9 headshots and 1 body on tier 10 Guardians, and on tier 9 and below, it only requires 8 headshots and 2 bodies. Moving on from there, we have Iron Reach. It's going to grant you a plus 20 to range, but a negative 30 to stability. Now, for a lot of you, Iron Reach is going to be the go-to perk for that huge bump in range, but like I said, Bungie changed things, so stability really matters on your SMG now, and I don't really think it's worth to take a hit of negative 30 to your stability just for that range bump. At base, while aiming down sights with this, you're getting about 17 meters, and with Iron Reach, you're getting 18.8 meters, which is just over a meter more in damage drop off, so I don't really think that's worth it in my opinion. But if you do go with Iron Reach, definitely pair it with Dynamic Sway Reduction. Dynamic Sway Reduction gives you more stability, so that will kind of offset it there. Up next, you got Target Lock. Damage increases the longer this weapon remains on a target. Like I said before, it's a 0.73 TTK on this SMG, and D2 Foundry states that once Target Lock is amped up, it drops it down to a 0.67, only requiring 11 headshots instead of the 11 headshots and 1 body shot. But that does mean that you're gonna have to have perfect aim. So if you're a true god in the Crucible and have perfect aim, or if you use a Cronus or something like that, I guess go with Target Lock. Wouldn't suggest it, but it's not completely useless. Next up, we got Kinetic Tremor. Sustain kinetic damage to a target emits a shockwave that damages any nearby target. If you're going for a PvE roll, 100% Kinetic Tremors is what you want to go with. This is going to take 14 shots of your SMG to proc in the Crucible. It's going to emit 3 shockwaves. Each shockwave does 20 damage. The only way you're going to get this to proc in the Crucible is if you're hitting all body shots, because if you hit headshots, you're going to kill them before this actually procs. But one thing to keep in mind is that these perks will be enhanceable once the final shape comes out. So enhanced kinetic tremors, not sure what that's going to do. Hopefully it lowers the amount of shots it takes to proc. So maybe, just maybe, this will be the play once the final shape comes out. But until then, I would just use this in PvE. And then last but not least, you have Frenzy. Being in combat for an extended time increases damage, handling, and reload for this weapon until you are out of combat. Now, Frenzy is not actually a bad option. It's actually pretty good. You only need to be in combat for 12 seconds to get it to proc, and once you do get it to proc, it's going to drop your TTK from 0.73 to a 0.6. only requiring 10 headshots on tier 10 to tier 6, which is not bad at all. You get that 15% increase to damage, 100 handling, 100 reload speed. Do not be sleeping on Frenzy, y'all. So Guardians, those are the perks, those are the stats. What is my opinion on the god roll you should be chasing? In my opinion, I think you guys should go for Hammerforged Rifling, Accurized Rounds, Dynamic Sway, Kill Clip with a Range Masterwork. Now, I am just a kill clip enthusiast. I like seeing those damage numbers to go up in the Crucible. I like the lower TTK. But if you just want a straight up consistent SMG across the board, I would go with Tap the Trigger paired with Dynamic Sway. That's really going to help you out in pretty much all your 1v1s, whereas Kill Clip is really going to help you out after you get that first initial kill. So either one of those, Kill Clip or Tap the Trigger, is a very good option in my opinion. But as always, Guardians, let me know what you guys think about this SMG down in the comments. What role are you going to be chasing in Iron Banner? So subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, leave a like if you enjoy the content, and follow me over on Twitch for the live streams.